Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much to this Jai Hind College for having me here and giving me this opportunity. I would really like to thank the team. Because of them, I was able to enjoy a beautiful dinner yesterday and go for a walk with my parents to the Marine Drive because they helped me get my speech together and the slides. So, I'm here to talk to you guys about saving. Saving is a human nature and investing is not. We were born to save, but our culture has taught us now to spend. Hi, my name is Paco, Paco de la India, which clearly means Paco from the India. How did I get this name? I was in Pamplona, Spain, the Bull Run Festival. I meet Gabo from Argentina. He asks me my name. I say my name is Hitesh. He's like, hey brother, that's a difficult name. For tonight, you're called Paco. And rest is history. It's been 10 years I've been using this name, Paco de la India. We are here to talk about saving and to let go of the culture of YOLO. Because saving is really important if you want to travel the world. Because everybody just wants to spend money. This college is a Sindhi college. Hello to all the Sindhis here. I'm a Sindhi too. I was born in a Sindhi family, humble family, where my father's dream was for me to go to the shop every evening to make some money and get my pocket money. And my mother's dream was that I travel the world. Clearly, I'm my mama's boy. My father has many rules, and because of those rules, I am here. That's Paco de la India. My father's first rule was, your father is always right. And his rule number 2 was, if your father is wrong, see rule number 1. And his second and his favorite one was, my way or the highway. I was like, I already know your way, it's the shop. Let me go to the highway. Let me see what life brings to me. And guess what? I took the highway and I left his house in 2013. I left his house and I started doing something that was very important for me. That was couch surfing. I got a small room, I had a bed, I got an extra mattress, and I started receiving travelers to my house. What is couch surfing? It's Airbnb, but for free. So I have people from Argentina, from Chile, from Vietnam, from Americas, just staying on my room for free. And I see them traveling for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. I'm like, hey, even I can do that. I remember this guy called Kai. He was from Vietnam. He couldn't even speak proper English. And he was traveling for 500 days. I'm like, hey, I make money. I go to a CBSE school. I can do that. Yes, when I left the house, I started doing a lot of things. As there's a very nice book, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. I started getting up at 4:30 a.m. every morning. Along with couch surfing, I was doing Toastmasters, salsa classes, running, cycling, swimming, painting. I did not have a single hour free to myself. I got really inspired by a lot of books. I, for the first time, read a book when I left my parents' house. That was in 2013. I got a lot of books, and these are the books that inspired me. The Secret by Rhonda Byrnes and The Vagabond's Way by Rolf Plotz. Let me start with Vagabond's Way by Rolf Plotz, who talks about how you can travel the world by saving money. If you buy a coffee in your Starbucks, that's 350 rupees. But if you go out to Thailand, you can get a cup of coffee for 10 rupees. The Secret, which was such an important thing for me, which really changed my life, it was ask, believe, and receive, the manifestation. I converted my room into my own temple and I started worshiping myself. I stopped listening to the people outside and I started doing what I want to do. And this is how I turned my room into. I asked. All that I wanted was on my room. It said, I asked. I want to travel the world, meet new people, and have beautiful experiences. I believed. I am traveling the world. I am meeting new people. I am having a great time. And receive, that's the gratefulness. We use our parents just like a Walmart. We are always asking them things and never grateful. And I am grateful that I traveled the world to meet so many nice people. 10 years later, I'm here in front of you after traveling 58 countries. And this all was possible because of manifestation. There's a very nice quote by Ibn Battuta that says, when you travel, you're speechless, but when you come back, you're on the stage telling stories. And here I am sharing the same with you. So how did it all start off with me? I'm sharing some anecdotes. This is 2015. I decided I want to take a sabbatical. I quit my job, went to Indonesia, reached to an island. I was like, lovely island, good people. I'm an emotional guy. I invested $15,000, and what happened? I got scammed. I lost all the money, $2,000 in my pocket. I catch a flight to United States of America, and I start traveling. When you step out of your comfort zone, you start meeting great people along the journey who will always guide you. I got to meet my friend Chris, who offered me something beautiful, a ride. I traveled from San Francisco to Miami, 15,000 miles, 3 months on the road, 36 cities, 15 national parks, and I did not even know the guy. This is what happens when you step out of your comfort zone, and I went out. Something great happened in States. I lost my passport, and I was scared, but as I'm a strong believer of manifestation, 1 month of asking, believing, and receiving, I want to find my passport. I will find my passport. I have my passport. I found my passport. There you go. I got an emergency certificate. That was a spare passport to come back to India. And my regular passport, this is on the left. As you can see, our lovely Mr. Modi ji was there. This is during 2016. And I found this thing. I left. But in the meantime, I had informed the Indian consulate as well as the Americans that I've lost my passport. And they had cancelled my passport, but I found I found the old passport. Now what do? Should I go back to India or should I continue my journey? I caught my flight to El Salvador and I started traveling, crossing the border from Salvador to Guatemala. Can we have the video, please?
So I am with the cops. I was just close to the border of Guatemala, but apparently they do not verify my visa. And I'm going back to Santa Ana. A free ride. Adventure. Life's good.
These are the cops taking me back. He was like, hey, your passport is flagged by the Interpol, you have to go back. And I was like, okay, no worries. And I moved forward from there. Now I have $1,000 in my pocket and I have to move forward and I start working on the streets. I go from here. Before I move forward, I would like to say about what I say is couch surfing and volunteering for your stay. So you can volunteer in hostels. They'll give you free food, free accommodation. You work 4 hours a day. Much better than listening to your parents shouting at you always. If you want to travel, you can hitchhike, use your public transport. And for food, $5 is enough. You can buy a banana, some peanut bread, and start cooking your own food. Your mom's not there with you. It's not this. I started working on the streets. So I became an English teacher in Colombia, where I started learning salsa. And if you learn salsa, you can dance with anybody in this world. It's a gentleman's dance to all the boys here. Please learn salsa. You're in demand. When the song changes, your partner changes. We move forward. I was in Ecuador. In Ecuador, I was doing dumpster diving. That is basically getting food from vegetable market to feed myself. I was selling peanuts in Peru so that I can go to Machu Picchu. I was wood cutting, lumbering in Chile so that I can make my money to move to the end of the world, to run my 200th city there. And finally, you ready for this? The easiest and the laziest job I did. I taught, in fact, meet and teaching. I was writing people's name in Hindi and they were paying me money for it. That's the laziest job I did. I used to earn $30 per month about it. Anyways, I came back before COVID. Anyways, I came back after this reality. I came back. I wanted to go to Uruguay. They rejected my visa. I go to the airport. The same drama. Say, Interpol has marked your passport orange. I look him in the eye with my Spanish. I'm like, it's my birthday. And my parents are waiting. And he lets me go. I reach here. I meet my father. I tell him the story. I'm like, Papa, I've traveled the world. He listens to me for half an hour and he says, this all you have done is zero. That is 4 years of me on the road, and my father says this is all zero. I ask him why. He's like, what will you feed your children now? Stories. I'm like, that's so true. What will I feed them? He kicks me out of the house again. So if you get kicked out of your house, you're on the right path, guys. He kicks me out and I'm back on the road and I'm trying to figure out my life, and this is how I go through a lot of things. Just before COVID hits me, I become a waiter, a juicer, selling milk, selling chicken, and just moving with my way forward so that I can make money. In COVID, I started doing various jobs. My name changed from Paco to Tobacco because I started selling cigarettes. People wanted cigarettes, and yes, I know the other speaker said don't smoke, but yeah. 2.5 years figuring out my life, and this is when it came. I always talk about, you want to save your money, right? We started this topic about saving our money. What do you want to save? Dollars, rupees, or gold? When I was studying, $1 was 38 rupees. Today, $1 is 84 rupees. I have practically lost half my wealth. What are you going to save? If you don't save, you will not be able to travel. It is me telling you, I give you ₹1,000,000, you sleep with the pillow, and when you wake up, that million is no more a million. It is 900,000. You have lost 10% due to inflation. Is that good enough? Nope. You're losing your value. You're hardworking. You're honest. You pray to God, but you're still losing money. Our parents were happy. Our parents were happy with annas and rupees. They used to live off 50 cents and 1 rupee. But how did I end up understanding about Bitcoin? This was, yes, I was trying to figure out my job. My friend gives me a call yet again. He's like, hey Paco, do you want to travel the world? I'm like, yes, I want to travel the world. He's like, but you have to travel using Bitcoin. And I'm like, but what is Bitcoin? And he gives me this book called The Bitcoin Standard, where I learn about something that our governments have moved away from the gold standard in 1971. That means our printers are going brrrr. They are printing money out of thin air. And it is not India's fault. It is the fault of the mighty United States of America that they have printed $34 trillion and have played with our future. Can you question them? Can you ask them why? Or can you protest them? No, but we have to live with this. Just think about this example of hard money and easy money. Gold, we used to have all the greatest creations of the mankind happened during the golden era. That means aeroplanes, electricity, printing press was created. Even the mighty Taj Mahal took 22 years to create, and now you have Instagram models twerking away for $100,000. That's your paper money. That was a burger of $2.9 in 2004. The same burger is $5.8. This is me just walking yesterday, and it says, buy an apartment for 4.94 crore rupees. You're telling a youth of the college of this country to buy an apartment for $500,000. How many zeros are that? And yet you have to pay taxes to your government. And you're telling me start saving money? Bitcoin is of limited supply. I advise you to please study, research about Bitcoin. It is going to help you a lot. Thanks to the Bitcoiners, I was able to travel 41 countries in 2 years, all crowd-funded by the Bitcoin community. I just wanted to travel to see whether Bitcoin is money. My advice to you is start seeing your net worth in Bitcoin terms. Now, Bitcoin has something great features, and if Bitcoin is money, then money should be used everywhere. Scarcity. Bitcoin has 21 million coins. How many people in the world? 8 billion people. Do your maths, you're smart in this college. Divisibility. Bitcoin, one Bitcoin is 100 million sats. And one Bitcoin today is $44,000. Doesn't mean I'm giving a one Bitcoin to somebody while I'm buying a cup of coffee, but I'm giving you a portion of Bitcoin. So yes, it is divisible. Portability. I was able to travel from the jungles of Congo to the Machu Picchu in Peru by using Bitcoin. I was able to move Bitcoin anywhere. If I lost my phone, I was able to recover my Bitcoin. Durability. Does not deteriorate, easy with which it can be moved across time. I was in Congo. I wanted to convert my $100 bill, and the person says no. I'm like, why? He's like, your bill has been printed in 2009. I'm like, so what? He's like, sir, that's an old money. We only accept new money. Your Bitcoin doesn't expire. I was in South Sudan, crossing the borders yet again. The man finds my GoPro, the man finds my drone, and he says, hey, you're a spy. And I'm like, no, I'm not a spy. He's like, you have to give me $200. I'm like, I have no money. He's like, what do you have? I have $10. He's like, let me check you. He checks my bags, doesn't find any money. The next thing you know, he's like, you're hiding your money in your pants. Now I'm naked in front of the military. And guess what? They did not find my Bitcoin. You will have your freedom of your Bitcoin and you can move anywhere in this world. Recognizability, I could buy a cup of coffee in Thailand, or I could pay for my guide in Machu Picchu, or I could just pay for my hostel anywhere in the world using Bitcoin. This is what happens with your dollar bills. Try taking your rupees and using it in other countries. You will understand how worthless your rupees are. Now, I've told you all these things, and you're like, this is so much information. All I want to say is trust is good, but verification is better. Everybody wants to get rich in this crypto frenzy scheme. Remember, even a baby takes 9 months to come out. Take your time while you're doing your research and understand why Bitcoin is really good. Before I leave you, I would like to say some great quotes that have inspired me, and this goes as follows. 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. You have a lot of options here. It's your choice, but you only have to move the load. Mark Twain has said something, for you all who follow Aaj Tak, for you all, this is my message. If you do not follow news, you're uninformed, but if you follow news, you're misinformed. Please verify your sources. And one of my favorite mentors, Abraham, once told me, what is the definition of hell? The last day you have on earth, the person you became will meet the person you could have become. This is me with 20 countries traveled in this year. It's your choice to define your definition of hell. There is nothing after you die. And my last one for you all is, if I could do all this in 2 years using Bitcoin, imagine what can you do with Bitcoin. So yeah, thank you so much, and Vande Mataram.